Thank you for watching. My name is Advocate Mohammed Abduroaf, and today's topic deals with the issue concerning how do you get divorced if you do not know where your other spouse is or lives or his whereabouts. You are married to somebody, perfectly fine. You live together for a few years. The other party decided to go overseas for whatever reasons. Maybe you guys had an argument or decided to separate. And the other party decided to go overseas for a few years. 5 years later, you decided, you know what, this is now over. I have not spoken to the other side, the other party, for the last 3-4 years, and now you would like to divorce. You've done inquiries. All that you know is that the other party has a Facebook account, or that the other party resides in England, for my example, and that's all that you have. You do not have a telephone number. You have an email address that was used many years ago, but you have a Facebook account. You know the person is a bit busy on Facebook, but that's it. And you assume the person is still living in England. I'm using a very easy example. A more extreme example would be is that you do not know the party's whereabouts at all. And that will be a bit more challenging, but it's also possible to get divorced under those circumstances. There is something called edictal citation, whereby you ask the court permission to institute divorce proceedings, to serve the divorce summons against the defendant, the other party, via a process other than the sheriff. Let me assist you here. A lawyer will go and draft court documents, a summons, basically stipulating that his client wants a divorce from the other side. So you'll mention the date of the marriage, problems, and these are the reasons why you want to get divorced, and also decree of divorce. And the summons will be, the plaintiff will be you, and the defendant will be the other side. But you have a difficulty, you have a challenge. You do not have an address for the defendant. And you know the defendant lives in England, and the usual way would be is the attorney will go to the sheriff somewhere in South Africa, if the defendant lives in South Africa, and he'll email it to the sheriff or post the document to the sheriff, the summons to the sheriff, and the sheriff will go to the person's work address or the person's home and serve the summons on the other side, knowing that the wife, in this example, wants to divorce the other side, and these are the reasons why, and this is what the wife is asking for. And then obviously the defendant will come and file a notice of intention to defend and file a plea, a counterclaim, whatever the case may be, and the matter will be finalized in the Pacific local court because the defendant knows there's a case for divorce against him. But here we do not know where the defendant is. And obviously the court can't just assume that the defendant is not in the jurisdiction or that the defendant knows about this matter. The court wants to be now convinced that the defendant is somewhere, or possibly that we can follow a process whereby we can inform the defendant, and the defendant should be informed about the divorce proceedings pending against him or her, in our scenario against him. What do I have? I have a Facebook account. I have an email address that was used some time ago. So what I'll do is I will go on Facebook and see if I can communicate with this person. The person might say me, yes, good day. I'll first email the person first and say, I'm a legal representative for your wife. She would like to institute divorce proceedings against you. Please advise either to the email address and maybe provide me certain details about where you live and so on. Hopefully he will respond. Let's pause that one day. On his Facebook account, I might do the same thing. I might contact him and say, I'm representing your wife for divorce proceedings. Please confirm if you're using this account and can I serve the divorce documents on you? He might say yes. And this scenario to be him. Then I will take that information, the email that he responded to me with. I will take that and also the Facebook communication. WhatsApp also possible. I might communicate with him with my WhatsApp. And I will make an application for my client to court, advising the court that these are the communications that I had with the defendant in this matter. He is living overseas in England in my example. He does use his email address. Here's an email that I sent him. He responded to it. He does use Facebook. Please give us permission to serve this documentation on him via email. or via Facebook, depending upon the circumstances, or via WhatsApp, if he communicated to me via WhatsApp. Alternatively, he might say, no, I don't use this stuff here. This is where I live. I live here in London, and this is my address, but I don't use email much. Well, I can't get hold of him via email or via the Facebook. But I know where he resides, and for some other reason, I spoke to him and he said, this is where he resides. I provide all that information to a court, to the judge via an affidavit. My client might do the same also, depending upon who communicated with a specific defendant. And then I will try to convince the court that the only way we can serve the documentation on the defendant would be via email, WhatsApp, or via someone in London. So possibly, because I cannot specifically instruct the sheriff in London to have these documentation served upon him, because that's not a South African sheriff. It's not one of our sheriffs here locally. Then the court might advise me, I give you permission now to maybe appoint the sheriff in London to serve this documentation upon the husband. Alternatively, the court might give me leave to ask an attorney, or it will be a solicitor. In the UK, an attorney in the UK is called a solicitor, a barrister is called an advocate in the UK. And I might advise the court that I know these attorneys, these solicitors, the officers are here, I communicated with them, they gave me a pro forma on how much they will charge me, and the court will say, you know what, I think the best way to serve these documentation would be via that specific attorneys in London, these specific solicitors in London. I'll prepare the documentation, I'll have it couriered, or maybe emailed, depending upon the facts, and then that those specific solicitors will serve this documentation on the defendant in London. And those specific solicitors will have to provide an affidavit explaining what they have done, and I will file that affidavit with the court. Once the defendant has been served with this specific documentation, the normal procedures will apply. He or she will have, but more than 10 days, I might give the person a month to decide to defend the matter or not, whatever the case may be, but the normal procedures will apply as if the person was served locally in South Africa. If he, in the scenario, wants to defend this matter, he will get attorneys locally, most probably, and or he can defend himself, and they will file the necessary documentation. And when the trial day comes, he will have to fly down to Cape Town, if that is where the plaintiff resides, and defend the divorce or do whatever he needs to do for the divorce proceedings. So it is possible. If you do not know where the whereabouts or the other person is at all or completely, you don't know where the person was, but you know the last place where this person resided could have been in London, and because of A, B, C, and D, family spoke to, etc., then it's possible maybe to convince the court that you can maybe serve it in London via the newspaper, via some type of format, but it might be a bit challenging, but it's possible to get the court's consent. If the court can be convinced that this person will ultimately be notified about the divorce proceedings. I hope this is of some assistance to you. Thank you.